go in this game. Of course, Deion Sanders very clear that this is the moment that can really set the tone for the second half of the season. He was very blunt, very direct with his guys this week, especially his seniors. He told them, you better prepare for a rude awakening. Life is going to hit you in the face. Some of y'all need to get a lot more serious about your careers and your life and what happened next. He told them, you have 6 weeks to put it all out there. If you don't, where's your life going? Because the moving truck is coming. Where is it headed? He said, I shouldn't have to tell them to hustle. I can't coach desire. That's on them. This thing is coming to an end. You don't want to leave here wishing you did more.
I've never thought more that I want to play for Allison Williams on her team after that read of what Deion said. He said to us, he goes, look, U-Haul's going to cost you $1,000 to $3,000. Where's it going, though? Where's it going to take you? And I don't know. We'll see which team finds its way through this crossroads.
Well, I just kind of like the reflection in his sunglasses right there.
Here we go. Arizona, Colorado. Meeting in the Big 12. And it's an onside kick to open the ball game. And let's see who comes out with this football. It is going to be Colorado football. The Buffaloes are on top of it. Wow. It's Brandon Hood for the Buffs.
Yeah, this is pretty close. And we talked last night in our production meeting after our meeting with Arizona, and I said, gosh, I think there's times that coaches can help their teams if they're tight. This is one way to do it, to be ultra and extra aggressive, trying to go for the onside kick, and it is awfully, awfully close. Colorado corrals it, but I love that. From a mindset standpoint, we're coming out to be aggressive and coming out to play.
Jackson Holman was there. He had to let it travel, and he waited a little bit long for Arizona. So now Shedeur Sanders, who has put this team on his back. We'll see what he has in terms of wide receivers. They've had a bunch of injuries at that position, and they're hoping to be able to run the ball a little bit more today. That's Augustive, the sophomore tailback, for no gain on first down. They ran for negative yards, including sack yards last week, but 72%, Brock.
Off the charts. Off the charts. He takes great care of the football. You would love to mix the run game. They did it the last time they were on the road down at UCF, but that run, not a good early indicator.
Travis Hunter out there for the first play, and that is very good news for Colorado and his Heisman candidacy. Down he goes, Shedeur Sanders. Nobody's been sacked more than him the last couple years, and Trey Smith got there.
Yeah, this is a matchup they're going to put all day long. They're going to put Trey Smith over here on Phillip Houston, the right tackle, because they feel like he can get home, and he drives right through the body of Houston, right into the quarterback. He will move all over the defensive line, and Shedeur, come on now. Okay, a run for nothing, a guy right in my face. Give me some help.
4 sacks a game they're allowing of Shedeur Sanders. One on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 15. He's going to reach back and launch it downfield inside the 10. LeJounte Wester gained a 46. He got it all back.
Wow. Did he ever get right on the toes of that safety in a hurry? You're going to see him right in the middle, right down the hash. He gets right on top of the secondary. Genesis Smith, the nickel there. He runs right by him.
1st and goal. Sanders leading in. They're going to say he's down at the half-yard line. He thought he was in. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
It was going to be really close as they take a look at it. Doesn't do a ton of this. He does not pull the ball out and run it himself.
Ooh. What do you think?
I think replay is going to probably have to take a good peek at this one. It's going to be that left hip.
Tough to tell. They're just going to run a play, 2nd and goal. Augustive got shoved in by Sanders. Let's see if he's there. Yes, touchdown. Shedeur said, you take it.
Yeah. It was the right-hand push. You're going to see it right on that backside because there's some chaos coming off the edge. But Shedeur does give his buddy, who's making his first start, a little shove, and that may have been just enough.
Looks like Sam Hart is the injured party for Colorado.
That's the danger of an onside kick against an explosive offense like this, right? You stop the run, you get him to 3rd and 15. But unfortunately, the arm of Shedeur, the legs of Augustov. I'm sure Deion's saying, like, good, go ahead, onside kick a little bit more. Make us drive at 50 yards because we can do it in a hurry.
Well, here's what he loves about that. For Coach Prime, he says, look, we gave away so many points early in our 2 losses. We have been chasing in our losses this year. So Arizona sort of unwittingly just plattered this for what Colorado's been looking at in its losses. Sanders gets sacked.
Was how battered and hammered the back end of Arizona's defense is in that secondary. So I think some of it is they know, man, it's going to be a hard time to try to contain through the air, so might as well take a risk.
They will touch the football for the first time. Jack Luttrell on the return, and he will get to about the 29-yard line. For Noah Fafita, who was outstanding last year, taking over the job from Delora, the turnovers have been really the issue this year.
Yeah, just trying too hard. And it just kind of shows up everywhere on the tape. The 9 interceptions, the fumble a week ago, 4 of them. And he knew it. He took total responsibility for it. Jason, it's a little different when you're the one chasing. When you were the backup that got thrown in there on a veteran with a veteran group and just excelled versus, hey, man, feeling like I've got to carry all the weight.
You can sense that as a quarterback.
You can. And he's just got to calm down, simplify, and play loose.
He's got Quali Conley, the tailback, next to him. A little bit of a high snap, and Conley on the run on first down, and he's smushed after no gain. So this Arizona offense, the line is anchored by Baker in the middle, but Savanaya is key on the right side.
Yeah, he's an absolute stud. He's another NFL guy after this year, or who knows. They call him Big Jonah for a reason. Sam Olsen is in. Kean Burnett, the stud tight end, does not look like he's going to be able to go today.
Yeah, that's 16 catches in 6 games. Burnett, who went to high school with Fafita. There's pressure. He gets drilled from behind, and the ball goes spinning out toward the sideline. They'll say it's incomplete. There's Shiloh Sanders. Talking about a chip on his shoulder from last week.
Think he's taking out some frustration right here. He comes totally free. The protection's got to go inside out. That's how you teach protection. So a good overload blitz there by Livingston, and he gets right to that back, right between the scapulas of the quarterback to knock it loose.
Shiloh Sanders' father, the head coach, said, I'm not worried about him. I know how he gets motivated. I feel like he's going to have a game this week. 3rd down, Fafita feels the pressure again, steps up and gets wrangled.
Well, this has been the challenge on the other side. Both these quarterbacks been hit a lot, but you're going to see the stunt come around here, picking up the game. You see the overload on 2nd down for the hit. You see the stunt up front for the sack. And while he's not been sacked, Fafita, nearly as much as Shedeur, he's been under duress and pressure. 2 good calls there from Robert Livingston, the D coordinator. Even better execution.
It was Keaton Wade who got the sack, and Okunlola was there first. So punt time for Arizona. And a fair catch inside the 40-yard line. It's 40-yard.
If they can run it against Coach Brennan in year number 1 here at Arizona.
Travis Hunter is out there at the bottom of the screen, and this is a dive for Augustov. Good news about Travis Hunter to see him in the ball game. Zelinskas in the middle of this offensive line that has been under fire at points this year.
Well, it's got to be better. It's one of the worst rush offenses in all of college football, and in situations like that where it's 5-on-5, you've got to get more. But you see already the playmaking of Western. These guys can fly. This is a fast track down there. This is an injured secondary. So Horn and Wester and Hunter in the open field, big advantage.
Arizona does have the cornerback Takario Davis, who was questionable to play. They will run it again. Augustov trying to set a bit of the tone, as they say. And this defensive line is a key for Arizona.
And you're going to see the parts all over the place, especially if they get to passing situations. Really feel like Trey Smith, the San Jose State transfer, one of the better D linemen in this league. Manu, first team all-conference last year, the leading tackler, an absolute warrior at the 2nd level. And Genesis Smith, he's played free safety, strong safety. Today he's going to play a little nickel with Jack Luttrell at free safety.
Dallin Hayden, the former Ohio State Buckeye, is in at the tailback spot. This is a throw over the middle. It's a first down for Colorado, right on target. And he's got it to LeJohntay Wester again.
Yeah, this is pretty. I mean, these two are just on the same page. A simple little in-cut, enough protection in that pocket after 2 first down runs. And just some zone coverage. And if you see that, Sanders' ability to process, that's what Pat Shurmur was telling me on the field pregame. It's just different. It's unique. He sees zone coverage. He throws it right off the linebacker's ear, right between the 1 and the 0.
Pat Shurmur said to us yesterday, too, he likes to fiddle. He knows the play call, and he likes to have some options for himself. This is him backpedaling and throwing off his back foot and incomplete. There is a marker coming in. Luttrell on the back end was in safety help.
And he's just early. We didn't even mention the decal. I like that. That is sweet. That's on the basketball court. First time you've seen it on the football helmet. And Luttrell, first time he's made a start here.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 13. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And he's a transfer from Tennessee as Luttrell. Been a special teams guy. But you're going to see he's just a beat early. Got a little hold as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes that catch. I think you've got the right coverage in the right spot with the contact early.
Trip as Dallin Hayden went down. He gets a couple of yards. Sterling Lane on the stop, second down. Negative 29 yards rushing last week. I mean, that pops off the page, and they know. And Pat Shurmur said, look, I'll run it more if we're gaining yards.
I got you. Give me 1 or 2 yards. Probably going to throw a little more because those guys do more damage outside.
Sanders fading back, giving some ground. Now stepping up on the roll, and Sanders will keep his feet long enough to pick up some good yardage. It'll be 3rd down and 3.5.
Well, again, this is what everybody has done against Colorado. They're just running stunts, and the communication right there up front is often not good enough. You're just catching those stunts instead of hitting them in the mouth. But fortunately for Pat Shurmur, for Deion Sanders, they've got this number 2 that can erase many of those mistakes at the line of scrimmage.
Third and 4 for Shedeur Sanders. Quick set, he'll throw over the middle. He's got Wester again. First down, Colorado. You talk about being on the same page.
Wow, this is just a great concept, too, from Pat Shurmur. He's got that old NFL move to cover his mouth. But this is an old NFL concept right here. Right, just a little scissors concept. Perfect timing and spacing, and there is nothing you're going to do man-to-man to stop it.
3 catches already for Wester. Sanders near side, incomplete. And a marker comes in. That was for Travis Hunter against Takario Davis, who can't believe it. These teams both have been penalized quite a bit, over 60 penalty yards a game for both of them.
Well, I think Brent Brennan was really curious how this game was going to be called on the perimeter. The former wide receiver himself knows that these judgment calls at times, there he is, good look at Brent, like, you going to call tight? We're going to let them play a little bit.
There is curiosity in your voice as you say that.
Well, QBs and receivers are kind of linked in that
Pass
way.
interference. Defense. Number 1. The penalty occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line.
And Jason, there is long, and then there's extra long. And Takario Davis is 6'4" with go-go gadget arms. Look at his hands. They almost touch the ground. He's in press man coverage. In real time, I mean, that's not.
You don't think so?
I don't. Do you?
Well, they're going to run a play. I don't have to answer. To the 2-yard line or so.
Was there anything that impeded Travis from going and getting the ball?
The arm.
You can have contact.
A little bit.
A little bit of a tug of the arm? Okay. Then just call it consistently. If that's the strike zone today, right? Then just call that consistently.
And I think Brent Brennan on the last drive felt like there might have been a hold the other way that didn't get called.
Yeah, it was very aggressive on that 3rd down. Okay, he's got the arm. That's fair. That's fair.
He had to try to free himself up to make the... I can see it both ways.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to call that, just call it the rest of the game that way.
On the ground, Augustin is met and driven back. Jacob Manu absolutely set fire to that play.
It's like your pocket square. It's an inferno right
Okay.
here. And Savell Small's got to have your eyes up. Right, 31, you see the tight end coming over. Just have your eyes up. Most dangerous defender, and I'll tell you who it is. It's going to be that warrior, that leading tackler from a season ago, because he at 5'10" comes at you in a hurry.
No snap, no snap, no.
No snap, just in case you didn't hear.
No cap. I mean, I think for a lot of us, we've watched Indiana from afar, but to see him on the big noon window, holy smokes, did Signetti and crew put on a show.
All he does is win.
Google it.
3rd and goal. It's a pitch and a touchdown. Draylen Miller, the freshman from Texas. Seaton, the left tackle, just Simba cammed him. First time in the end zone for Miller, and it gives the Buffs a 2-score lead.
I think you've seen Mr. Mahomes run this play a time or two, just a little shovel pass, and the key is you've got to block down. You cannot have penetration. An excellent job here by Houston of doing just that. And then that movement, right, kind of sprint right option. Oh, here comes a little shovel right underneath. Well executed. You could not have a better start for the guys from Boulder.
It's finally dance.
Well, he thinks of himself a little bit like Debo. That's what he said. I can run it. I can catch it. He's a 4-star kid that's come in here, and that first one you will always remember.
True freshman, 4 years, varsity high school in Texas. His father was a collegiate basketball player, and that was as close to a pocket pass as you're going to see in football.
It's just a cool, difficult little concept. Gives you options, right? You can run a little sprint out if you have that out there wide open. If not, and you block it up front. Pretty easy little shovel there. Draylen for his first touchdown of his career. Congratulations.
It's an opportunity in the backfield and as a wide receiver as well. Here's Patterson on the return for Arizona. And this is an early big drive for a Wildcats team that struggled with turnovers against BYU last week. Comes in at 3-3. You said it off the top. They won 7 in a row to close last year, but you got to have the football in order to do something.
You do. And, you know, season ago, I think with Jed Fish and company, you really built an identity. And you had 3 NFL draft picks, a first-round left tackle, a mid-round wide receiver, a tight end that's made an NFL team. Those are key pieces you're missing. And this group right here doesn't really yet know who they are, and that's why it's been so tumultuous the last 4 weeks.
Even within games sometimes, right? They had that Texas Tech game. They felt like they could have won it as Conley gets shoved back by Cam Stillman. Craig Allison.
He took full ownership of the mistakes we've seen this year with the turnovers. He said, I have played extremely poorly individually. That's why this offense has struggled, and I take full blame for that. He said, I have to be better about not forcing it or trying to be perfect. I need to just focus on getting the ball to the players around me and being a point guard out there.
And part of that is Teteroa McMillan, who had the 4 touchdowns in the opener, but none since, as Fafita feels the rush, gives way more ground again, and he throws near side. He does have McMillan, who can dance in space, and he is right around the 35-yard line.
I don't know what this route is, Jason. This one's not typically the playbook. It's a little pivot route, and it's a go route, and then it's going to be a comeback. And that's what Colorado talks about. When you watch and study Fafita, he loves to extend the plays. He loves to retreat more than anybody in college football. Part of that is the size to create a lane, and then his buddy he's played with since junior high. The two of them just get on the same page like they used to on the playground.
Servite High School in the Anaheim area in California. So run straight ahead. Conley inviting contact, shoulder first, into Preston Hodge.
And to me, that's what they need to do. If you want to settle down your quarterback, if you want to now keep Shedeur off the field because you can see the challenges you're going to have defensively, finding a way, especially in these early downs, to get positive yards and stay ahead of the team is critical.
Have you heard I got you enough?
Man, it is
so
loud down there.
Loud. Play action. Fafita Has time for a moment, then gets drilled as he throws, and it's high for McMillan. There is a marker in on the hit in the backfield, and that might be roughing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 93. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Token Lola.
And I think he's a little frustrated as he goes to the bench himself right here. He's going to come right off of the edge. No. You get to the head.
That second look does it for me, too. I'm with you.
It's not late, but you just can't get to the head or neck area on a quarterback.
Kedrick Risino in at tailback as Fafita throws this way, and that's high. A number of his interceptions have been too tall for receivers. That one was too much for Devin Hyatt.
And that one right there tells you, and tells Brent Brennan, and tells Dino Babers upstairs, this young man is still pressing. And you can see it. I mean, he is about, they list him at 5'10". He's a little guy in stature with an enormous heart, but missing a hitch route like that, that's not Noah Fafita.
It's odd to see. You talk to him, he's got this brilliant smile. He's got joy emanating from him, but he's not typically wound tight as a person as we get a whistle before the snap. And a timeout coming, Colorado. See where this drive ends up for Arizona. They're trailing big early, 14-0. Parade and pep rally. Their traditions date back to 1914, and this is a tradition they'd rather go away. This is drives ending in plus territory. Not enough touchdowns.
No, 19% touchdown rate. They're moving it. They're getting to the other side of the field, but this is when they have stalled, and it deflates you. And 3 of the last 4 on the road. When you get into the opponent's territory, you've got to finish. Just like you do at home as well.
Risino, the tailback, squeezes through, got the first down, gain of 11. Oh, wow, they're going to put him back a yard, it looks like.
Yeah, but look at the middle of the line there, Jason. That is a really nice job by Baker and Moy. Some experience there, and they can move you off the ball. Again, the run game is going to be Noah Fafita's best friend here, because off of that run comes the play action and movement.
I don't think that's a very good spot at all. 3rd and 1. They're going to throw on 3rd and 1. Fafita spins it and got the first down. Just outside of the 20, Jeremiah Patterson for Arizona, gain of 16.
Oh, this is what Fafita does, man. He will stand in there. He's going to take a shot, but you see the slot receiver coming right here. Right, again, some zone defense. We saw Shadur do it on the other side, and he whips that sucker for a big first down conversion.
Conley, oh my goodness. He got detonated. There is a marker in. It's Green who lit him up.
Oh. Jason, when these edge players see blocking down, they know what's coming.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, first down.
The offense gets called for something on the blind side on that play.
So B.J. Green plays some football now, and when he sees this action, right, you know what he's going to do. He's going to detonate the play.
I mean.
And then you could see it right here in the middle.
Yep.
Couple detonations. I promise you the running back one hurt a little more.
I think you're right. 1st and long. Here comes heat again. Fafita has to pull the ripcord. He fakes the throw and broke a couple ankles. Fafita into space. What a run. I mean, what a dazzling effort. He's just short of the line to gain.
And I think he did it to one Mr. Travis Hunter here in the open field. He gets out, the eyes are downfield.
Yep.
And I think that was Mr. Travis that was left reaching for air, because little Noah Fafita left him in the dust.
Noah's brother is named Dash, but Noah looked like he might have been one of the Incredibles there. Conley got through and nearly got in. Right into Shiloh Sanders, and Arizona's feeling good right now.
This is coming right at you, and Shiloh Sanders just got to put his body in the way and save the touchdown.
Conley again. Oh, he got driven back. Oh, my goodness. How did he not get into the end zone? Nakai Hill-Green closed the door.
Well, we saw Manu do this on the other side, and watch Mr. Linebacker right in the middle of it. Watch the action, sees the gap. And just like Manu, Hill-Green delivers the blow. Whew. A little hitting going on in the desert today, Benet.
Yeah, we do. I don't see an oasis, do you? Yikes. Play number 10. Little toss coming this way. It's a touchdown. Chris Hunter. His first time in the end zone. I don't think 14's going to win it today. You?
No, it's probably going to be a 4.
Yeah.
Maybe start with a 4.
You know, Tucson, when it was founded in part as a fortress downtown. This has not been a defensive fortress to this point.
No, but it has been physical. And take a look at Quali Conley, the running back here.
Hang on, we have a title winner.
Yeah. Watch my man right here. This is going to be 7-on-7 crime. It's Silman Craig, the strong safety, that's going to come into the hole. Bam, right there. Nice job by the tight ends on the outside as well, but that block right there set the table. And you love first-time touchdowns. These young men will remember it for the rest of their lives.
5 games last year, no catches. Didn't play in 2022 on a Isidore Newman High School in New Orleans for Hunter.
Mean, you know who he got passes from down there in New Orleans, right?
What you got?
Arch Manning.
I hear he's pretty good.
He's not bad. And by the way, that's a touchdown pass. I think Arch and any Manning was
that our Aflac trivia question? We're going to do that later.
Later.
Okay. 10-play drive.
I had to have that, right?
Yes.
I had to respond. And look at Coach Brian. He knows the old motto. Look good, feel good, play good. Put them wristbands just right on that calf. Why are you looking at me that way?
You have no idea where I'm looking. Luke to kick it away. And this will go through the end zone. Big 12 is totally up for grabs, by the way. We said it off the top. You know, Cam Scadaboo and Arizona State were playing so well. They go to Cincinnati, they lose. BYU and Oklahoma State played to the wire last night. There are 3 unbeatens in the league still, but Colorado is hanging around. Yep. They felt like they should have won that game against Kansas State, but look, you win a conference championship now, you're in a real good place.
Yeah, they may have felt that, but you give up 230 rushing and you're minus 29. Like, I'm not really buying that necessarily. But you go on the road down to Orlando like they did. You come into this place and you get those road wins with as rocking as Boulder and sold out and electric as that place is. Yeah, you give yourself a chance.
Play clock hits 0. They're going to let this go, and Sanders will drop it off out of the backfield. Augustive got hit hard by Owen Goss, and he turns it into more yards.
And there is some hitting today. We're kind of mid-season. I think these guys are calloused up. They're not exhausted like you are at the end of the year. And these pads are just clanging today.
You ever watch the old Batman show? It'd say like bang, pow, bam. That's what we have in the first 15 minutes here. Augustive into the spin cycle, and he's going to be just short.
And that, if you're a Colorado fan, is exactly what you're looking for. That's 2 runs, gets you 8-9 yards, keeps you so on schedule, keeps the hits off of your quarterback, and just sets the table for everything else.
This feels like a sneak, and they're going to rush it. And Sanders somehow twirls for the first down. What a tough run that was.
You know, when you see him at field level, and all these scouts did as well, dude has got a strong lower half.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. He is powerfully built, and we've seen this a few different times over the last couple years. He's dynamic with his arm, but he is sneaky with the power in his legs.
Well, he turnstiled Augustive into the end zone. Augustive paid him back that time, and they're going to run one more play before the end of the first quarter and just get 8 more on the ground with Augustive.
You told us you needed a good start in this game. What you like about the way they attacked early?
I like the way we're getting movement up front. When we're able to run the ball as well as everybody in the country knows Shedeur can spin it, it's going to be hard to stop us, but we can't have those crazy infractions on defense to extend the drives. And the kid did a great job of extending the play with his feet as well.
Yeah, what did you see defensively that you want to correct from that last Arizona drive?
Sure, we got a roughing the passer. You take that away, we're okay. I like what we're doing. I like what's going on. I like what's transpiring. We just got to keep it going.
Thank you, Dan.
Put on the gas. God bless.
Upon reflection, he's happy with it so far. Augustive, first down, and he's right to be happy. Manu with the tackle, but it's first down on the ground again for Colorado.
He's 100% right, Jason. When they get this kind of movement, when you're running the ball, right, it just sets the table for everything else. And you can see it, when they run it, as they did on the road down at UCF, that we were there for 4.5 yards a carry. They're going to win just about every Big 12 game they play.
This is Ta'itai Uiagalelei, who is down for Arizona. You left that game so impressed with Colorado against UCF, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that was a chaotic week in the midst of a hurricane. They had to travel early. They had limited practice time. And you just wondered with UCF coming off a bye, and man, they were buttoned up in every face. And then they get their bye and get a brutal matchup, let's face it, against Kansas State with all grown-ups and all their run game and veteran players. And that's not what Dwayne Aquina, who you see right there, and Brent Brennan are throwing today. This is a lot of newbies, a lot of first-timers, a lot of Wildcats that are out most of the back end of that secondary. And Colorado's taken advantage against the veteran D coordinator.
They have had Takario Davis, but he is not 100% healthy. Certainly, he's at the bottom of the screen in coverage. First down, play action. Right over the middle, wide open against that secondary again. It's a first down for Will Shepard, who's got a touchdown in back-to-back games.
Again, all those runs are going to do what? They're just going to set the table then for the RPO off of it. You look at the linebackers and the safety, and everybody's got to come to the line of scrimmage. And I'll tell you what, man, you have to reinforce the line of scrimmage against this set of receivers. Good luck.
And that was against Carnley, the freshman who's out there in the secondary. But you see, when Shedeur Sanders has a clean pocket, oh boy. Hunter is in at the bottom of the screen. Sanders, right down the middle again, and that one's inaccurate. It is incomplete. Second down coming up. He was looking for Morgan Pearson, the third tight end, with the injury to Hart.
Yeah, he was expecting Pearson to just bend that in a little bit more. Pearson did not have a reception on the season. Great baseball player out of Oklahoma growing up, and that was just a little bit more miscommunication than I think it was accuracy. He was expecting the young tight end to bend it a little bit more. He did not, and now for one of the first times all day, a little bit behind the chains on second and long.
They've really struggled at getting second down and manageable for the season. Way better today, and that's why they're perfect on third down. Sanders to throw again into tight coverage, and it's incomplete. He wanted Onoway. Carnley on the coverage again.
And you're seeing some unfamiliar names to maybe some Buffalo fans that don't have receptions on the year. But this was a nice job by Carnley, the corner, to come in and collision it. Went right to the ball. Didn't go through the receiver, and thus no penalty in the 3rd and 10.
We have not seen Jimmy Horn get targeted so far. He's down at the bottom in a bunch with Hunter and Wester. Third down this way, and he dropped it. First one for Horn, and it's 4th down, Colorado. Looks like Manu is down on the odd non-contact injury, Brock.
Yeah, it was really strange. You'll see it right here. And it's just right after the play. He's not involved in the tackle at all. It's 2 steps later. And something just gives way. The whole team comes out. He is able to walk off on his own power. We will keep an eye on that, as will Allison.
And with that, Colorado's going to go for it. Mata's field goal long this year for his career is 47. His long this year is 46. Sanders to throw right down the middle. He's got it inside the red zone. It is Travis Hunter, gain of 14.
That is so good. And once again, excellent protection. And just watch, the key to this route is you've got to stay flat. When you're coming off of this in cut, see how he stays flat? He does not gain ground. In fact, he comes back to the football and does not allow Davis to cut underneath or gain any ground right back to his QB.
Davis was down after the play. He had to pry himself up off the field. No,
but he's battling. I saw him in warm-ups. Said he's going to try to go. He's tried to get back. He's got a lower leg injury. And one of those soft tissue injuries that just continues to bother you all year.
So Demetrius Freeney is in.
Well, you got to go here, right? Travis Hunter's to the bottom of the field. If you get a one-on-one.
Yeah, he's with Freeney right down there. End zone, top side, one-handed try, and that is incomplete. Incomplete for Shepard, right at the edge of the field.
Or you take that one-on-one and you put it in the only spot if you're Shedeur you can.
Ooh, I don't know, Brock.
Does he hold on to it all the way through? I think that's the only question. The foot is in. The big-bodied Shepard, who's got 2 touchdowns the last couple weeks, got control.
Yeah, that's a touchdown for me. You? What do you think?
Okay, replay booth, Benetti.
Okay.
I think that left foot's in.
All right.
I think I can confirm your call. We don't even need Dean Blandino.
Since I jumped it so early, you were late to the party. Looks like a touchdown, and he has been a consistent touchdown maker for them the last couple games.
21 out of Vanderbilt in 4 years. One of the, just record setter out there, top 5 in most of their receptions, and now, he's got control. The foot is clearly in. I think that referee was looking at the right foot that was out and didn't see the left foot clearly in. Control all the way through contact with the ground. Mr. Shepard's going to have his 3rd touchdown in 3 weeks.
I think you're exactly on it, Brock. See, he's got it pinned sort of in the crook of his arm. And that's going to be 6.
And to kind of give some grace to that official, I think the body of Carnley blocked his view of that left foot. Couldn't see that. But there's some of that elite accuracy from Sanders. It is his greatest trait, and it carries through high school, through 2 colleges, and will carry himself in the top 5 of the NFL draft.
What do you think of the catchability of his football?
I think these receivers, his catchability is off the charts, and I think this receiving core too, Horn and Shepard and Hunter and Wester, is elite.
And to think they're down 2 receivers. Timmons is out, Miller is out, and there's enough.
They brought some playmakers up there to Boulder.
Yeah, they did. Colorado has traveled well, and the offense has too. Will Shepard, the last 3 games, has been outstanding. For the Buffaloes, he's in the end zone again. It's 21-7. And currently the wind is the only thing that's going to stop Colorado. Came off the tee for a moment. Arizona and Noah Fifita will get it back. And after this kickoff, Patterson inside the 5. Oh my goodness, there were 3, 4 clicks. Just clangs off of one another. And now Fifita, we've talked about giving some ground, gets the ball back.
One of the things that just jumped out to me, and certainly did the entire Colorado staff when we chatted with them, is how deep he drops. Quinn Ewers, prototypical, right? About 9 yards when you take a play out of the shotgun. Dylan, he'll stretch it at times to 9, 10 yards, as well as a little undersized. Fifita, it's like Doug Flutie back in the day, man. He is going to just gain ground and gain ground. It's why he holds the ball longer than anybody in college football. But to find those throwing angles, to play on the playground with his buddies who know how to maximize that talent of his, it's unique.
Short drop. He gets it away. He's got the tight end, Sam Olsen.
And that is more what they want.
Decisive.
Yes, and it's okay to drop back. It's okay to gain all that ground, but to be on time and on rhythm, which is what he was for Jed Fish a season ago in an extraordinary way. There you see the average release time, highest in all of college football. And that's okay to have in your back pocket.
Yeah.
But it cannot be your standard fare. You've got to get a little more of that. Makes it easier on your linemen. The routes are built to be thrown on time like that. Well done.
He'll keep it and roll, and he'll throw incomplete. So how much of it, right, for quarterbacks, if you are shorter than taller, what do you have to do?
You've got to do that. You've got to create more space to get those throwing lanes. I mean, and Dion knows it. This little guy is a baller now. When he gets to the open field, he can be a difference maker. But it's to create, throwing angles. I watched Russell Wilson do it for a decade in Seattle, to play off script, to make sure he has vision that at 5'10", 5'9" is a little harder to find.
So 3rd and 1, and they'll run it. Conley slips one tackle and cartwheels for the first down. So some of it you're fine with.
Oh, absolutely. And when you can use it like as a wild card, right? When you've got that in your back pocket, you scare and threaten the defense. But you've got to play more often on time. And he did it a year ago with great anticipation and taking care of the football. And I know that the staff wants to see that here in the second half of the season. I got you, too.
He's got it, okay. All right. He's got it. Conley short side. And he goes down. It's a nice play defensively by Silman Craig, reading the blocking.
And that guy, 185 pounds, pound for pound, is the baddest Buffalo in that defense. It doesn't take them but a second, them being any player or any coach, to say, who's the heartbeat? Who's the guy that makes you go? And it is Silman Craig.
We asked Deion Sanders, who's the guy you don't get asked about enough? And he said Cam Silman Craig. He is our leader. He runs this defense. 2nd down, pressure came from the secondary. They pick it up. Fafita does have the first down for Olsen once again. Sam Olsen paying off some more playing time, the San Jose State transfer.
And this is so good. I think a week ago he retreats, he being Fafita, but this time watch him stand right in the pocket with that pressure, and instead of retreating, step up into that pocket. Good things happen, not only throwing lanes, but if you do need to run it, that is a breath of fresh air for Brent Brennan and this entire offensive staff.
Hill Green sneaking up to the line. It is 1st down for Arizona, and Ricino, who is met right in the hole and driven on back. It'll be a couple yards. That's Levanta Bentley with the stop. I mean, have we had a game with harder hitting so far this year?
From both. Yeah, we've seen it kind of one way, unfortunately, too many times. But both guys, both crews, and you could see it, some of the black on those helmets right there, some of the collisions at the point of contact. Scraping paint.
Watching the NASCAR coverage. Look at you. 2nd down, Fafita. Another short drop and another decisive throw. He's got it to T-Mac. It's McMillan, 3rd and short.
It's awesome. And this is why, actually, you're moving and continue to move the ball. That graphic from earlier of the struggles when they cross midfield to finish the last drive. And guess what? You get to 3rd and 2s and manageable situations. Give yourself such a better shot.
Those deep drops were showing up so much on tape. Colorado, to a man on the coaching staff that we talked to, mentioned it. It's a quick snap, and now it's a jailbreak, and down he goes. Hill Green sideswiped him. It's 4th down.
And I don't like that. You've been in good rhythm, and you try the sneak attack, right? The quick huddle break. But Colorado is ready. They pressure right into it. You've got 2 Wildcats. Anytime you have 2 Wildcats right next to each other, 2 players on offense in any team right next to each other, bad things typically follow.
Here comes the heavy artillery, Tyler Loop, who, no joke, made from 77 in warm-ups. This is from 52. And I don't know that the hold was perfect. That came out weird, and it's no good.
Yeah, just a little.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Shedeur and Travis.
Yeah, somebody put that in the prompter for him, and he looked. He was like, what? 1st down for Colorado off the field goal miss, and it's Augustus. And it's not a huge number in terms of rush yards per carry for Colorado, but it's been good enough to create 3 straight touchdowns.
Just having balance, right? Take advantage of the short field on the onside kick that blew up for Arizona, and then just the mix of run and pass. That's when any team is at their best, but especially with the weaponry that Shedeur has around them.
After the gain of 3, it's Augustive again, trucking forward, and he is undercut by Dalton Johnson to the 40.
And I'll tell you what else this run does for Pat Shurmur is it just slows down all the games and stunts. Arizona's throwing 3-man fronts. They're trying to do what K-State and everybody's done. Dwayne Aquino knows that you watch the tape. Colorado's O-line is at a hard time processing pressure. But for Pat Shurmur, he knows the best way to attack it is run right at it.
But how much can Aquino do with a defense that's now without Manu, they're without Tacario Davis in the backfield?
Next man up.
It's a good bumper sticker, but does it play against this kind of offense? 3rd and 4. Sanders down the middle, right on target. That was a bullseye to Wester again.
You know, you brought up a great point earlier as Colorado once again quick to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be that little in-breaking slant route, and the catchability of Shadur's ball. Underrated.
Late substitution. Michael Welch just came in, but right there, right catch and run. He put it right on the hands. Shedeur Sanders lofts this one. Wester one more time. He turns it upfield with wings on his feet. First down, Allison.
Well, this Arizona defense dealing with so many injuries, and right now their rock, their leader defensively, Jacob Manu, in the locker room getting evaluated. He was able to walk off on his own to the locker room, but he has yet to return. That obviously is such a huge loss at the linebacker position. The good news, though, Tacario Davis is out there. He's continuing to play with that groin injury, but battling with Travis Hunter out there in the secondary.
Yeah, that's a tough task when you're not 100% healthy. You saw Kamuela Kaiahui in that spot. There, down to the bottom, Hunter, and it's incomplete. Davis was trailing him.
Oof, and he lands, I think it is on his other shoulder, fortunately for him, but this is just the one-on-one. And Tacario, we talked about him. He's an NFL prospect as well. 6'4" and just long arms. Got called earlier for grabbing that arm. Not that time. I think the only good news, it was the right shoulder. A week ago that got hit into the ground, but that's a lot of contact on that left shoulder of Travis Hunter.
Trying to run Gumby through the end zone there. Davis. Welch got bottled up briefly by his own lineman. It'll be 3rd down and short. So they, on 2nd and 10, pick up a sizable chunk, but 2nd and long is where they've lived.
Yeah, and sacks have been a part of that. No run game has been a part of that. That will be a number worth tracking today because it feels a little different this afternoon with their ability to run it and play with some tremendous offensive balance.
That's why they're 6 of 7 on 3rd down. It's been shorter 2nd and 3rd. Now the ball comes out. It's still on the ground. It looks like Arizona has it. There is a marker in on the play as well. It is Wildcat football for now. It's Owen Goss, the transfer from Colgate, with the ball.
Yeah, Shadeur's coming up to change the play and communicate, and for some reason the young center.
On the offense, 2 players in motion prior to the snap. That penalty's declined. First down, Arizona.
Yeah, you could see Shedeur is talking to Pat Shurmur. I'm coming up to the line of scrimmage to communicate. And Zelenskis, the sophomore center, for some reason he hears something. I don't think it's any signal from the defense. There's no clap. I don't see anybody communicating. And he just snaps it, and ouch in every way.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that can be a season changer. That's a little grandiose for the moment, but it's a 2-score game, and Arizona gets it out of halftime. Conley trudges for about 1.5 yards. But Colorado's defense and Hill Green is playing salty right now.
Yeah, well, it's been Arizona at -4 this year in the turnover that those plays have killed them more often than not. And you're right, Hill Green, these linebackers, I love that leadership right there. Shedeur knows it. He's exactly your point. You have a chance to step on him right there. Maybe go up 3 scores, and instead you give him life.
Fafita, it collapses, and he goes down. The ball came out, the ball's out. It was Green with the sack, and it is Buffalo football. There is a marker in. For now, it's Colorado football, and it's Levanta Bentley skating away with it. We'll see if Fafita was down. The officials are talking it over.
Well, that ball's clearly,
that's out.
Clearly out.
It was moving.
Rolling on the field is a fumble and recovered by Colorado. After the play is over, sideline warning, Colorado.
No, there is no question that ball is out. And BJ Green and this defensive line, Jason, have come to life the last couple weeks. 9 sacks their last 2 games, just 5 the first 4. McCoy, the youngster, had a couple last week. Green had a couple last week, and sacks come in bunches.
That's why BJ Green this week said it's open season. They are feeling very good on the defensive line, and it's now a 9th straight game with a turnover for Arizona dating back to last year.
Yeah, look at Warren Sapp. I think he'd like that too.
That's a very talented graduate assistant on the sideline. Warren Sapp, star-studded coaching staff. Shedeur Sanders, tunnel screen, and Horn's going to lose a couple yards. That was Kayahue coming in from the linebacker spot in for Manu. Second and 11 for the Buffaloes, and a huge possession in this game. Another bad snap. Hayden grappling for it down there. And it looks like Hayden did get on it for Colorado.
Yeah, I think actually, Jason, the snap, I know what you're saying there because it gets right to the mesh point in a hurry. I think Zelinskis actually snaps this pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
And it's just, yeah, just mishandled as Shedeur's trying to get the little RPO or little zone read going, and he takes his eyes off of it.
He looked like the sheriff spinning his guns in the Wild West Saloon shootout. 3rd down and 16. Sanders down the middle. That's intercepted. Picked off by Luttrell. We've cornered the market on turnovers.
In just about every variety, and this is a tough one. And this is one that Shedeur is going to throw with some anticipation. You're going to see the safety right here, but it is an in-cut. You got a clear route in an in-cut. When Shedeur throws it, he is expecting that wide receiver to cross the face of that safety. He is not expecting him to stop on that route. Now the receiver's like, what? Why are you throwing that there? There's the nickelback right there.
Travis Hunter wanted the football, I think. Oof.
Yeah, I get it. There's zone coverage there after the fact, but that is a sloppy series of events that gives Arizona some life.
Who knows what's going to happen in this next 3:38 to halftime. Risano through the car wash, and he'll have no gain. It is 2nd down coming up.
Well, I know that Arizona's offense was functioning best when that ball was out.
Yeah.
Right, when Fafita's catching it and he's throwing it, and that first option is there for Brent Brennan, those 2 drives before the last, moved it.
Just 47 yards on the ground. He got him. He's going to spike it right at the feet of Patterson. It wasn't there, the screen they wanted.
Such a good play from BJ Green, right? So you're anticipating these defensive linemen and these ends that have been just on fire and getting home and sack fumble on Noah Fafita. So you're going to run a screen, right? Well, not that time. Not that time, because these edge guys, right, they're going to feel it too. Right, he's going to see the screen happening in front of him, and he's going to stop. He's going to get in the throwing lane, and that is a senior in BJ Green that's got enough experience to know and sniff out what's coming at him.
What a hard turn for a big guy there. 3rd down. Fafita into the end zone, has to throw off his back foot, and that's not going anywhere. It's punt time for Arizona.
And Jason, this is where Colorado's different than they were a year ago. A year ago, when they were hoping to win games, bad things would happen and it would cascade into more bad things like the Stanford game and other losses. Not with Robert Livingston's crew, the D coordinator. He has done a great job. He's sudden change environments, takeaway environments. He's mixing, he's matching, he's stunting. And right now he's counting to make sure that there's 11 guys on the punt defense, because that is a heck of a 3 and out after the pick.
He's a young star coach.
You and I had that exact same feeling.
8 years with the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL as this punt goes to Horn, and he's got space. A jagged cut to the outside. Horn across the 35, and another short field for Colorado. So, where does the herd come from, Brock?
From all over the country, and in this case, look at every starter, Jason. They come from Dartmouth, they come from Liberty, they come from Jackson State, Oklahoma State. You just bring them from all over.
Don't leave out Charlotte.
No, I apologize. Yeah. Well, Hill Green was in Michigan before Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay.
So you got a lot of stops.
We only have so many decals we can put on.
Yep. But I'll say this about Livingston and this defensive staff is they have brought them together. You see some NFL concepts that have just come to life at this level.
They got the stop. The special teams flip of the field means another strong starting position for Colorado. This is Shepard, and he crawls to about the 25. The average starting field position today for the Buffaloes is 53 yards from the end zone.
Well, this to me is a little bit about some time management. Run this all the way down to the 2-minute timeout. Make sure that Arizona doesn't get more possessions, because they're going to get the ball, and Deion knows it, to begin the second half.
But do you think there's slow down in his DNA? I'm going to go no. This throw is just short of the first down. There's Travis Hunter. He's going to go half a yard short. Now they'll take it down to 2. Catcher. He was critically injured at the age of 22. The coach went to visit him in the hospital, and he said, Mr. Salmon did, tell the team to bear down. His famous last words. They've adopted that as the slogan. It is a beautiful story, and they've got to right now. It's 3rd and 1 for their defense. Augustive, first down, wrestling with Kayahue.
Nice job. You've seen a little bit of Khalil Benson at right guard today. We've seen Brown and Harden and Benson and Mayers kind of mixing and matching in the interior of that offensive line. But exactly what Coach looks for, Coach Prime down there, is movement. Can we get movement? And when they have, they've won.
Sanders this side. It's a sliding catch, and it is Wester just short of the 10-yard line.
Well, that's a receiver making a QB look good, because you do not see Shedeur miss quite like that, but Wester dug it out.
7 separate receivers have a catch. That's the 6th for Wester. Sanders hops into it. Augusta put it on the ground. Yeah, probably wasn't a grand idea to have oiled up the football before the game here in Tucson.
A big 3rd and 3 right here. I mean, you go up 28-7. Eventually, if you can get this 3rd down conversion and score and punch it in going in the half, versus having to settle for a field goal, give Arizona another possession and get the ball back. Big time play right here.
Hunter at the bottom of the screen against Takario Davis again. 3rd down, Colorado runs. Augustive has the first down. 1st and goal, Buffaloes. He wanted the end zone.
And once again, pretty good numbers here. Your stud left tackle, your true freshman, Seton here, kicks it out. And then just look at the movement and the advantage when you've got to cover down all of these receivers, right? You do have what are called light boxes, 5-on-5. And too many times they've not found enough success this year, but the true freshman leading the way for the big 3rd down conversion.
47 players in the Power 4 had more rushing yards than Colorado's team coming into this week. Sanders to run. He's got the end zone. Touchdown, Buffaloes.
That was pretty easy.
Very.
Yes. Nice job here. It was the left tackle on the previous 3rd down. A nice job by Houston here, the right tackle. just a 4-man rush. And once Shedeur sees that kind of green grass, is everybody's got to cover all 4 of those weapons, right? Leaves a lot of space for Sanders to do his thing.
That's the light box you're talking about. And if that's going to be available, why not? Extra point is good.
I think that's a key there, Jason. Why not? Well, because I got to get mine. Because I got to get my numbers. I got to get my stats. I got to do this thing. I got to get. No, you don't. Win football games. I mean, that's where some of the maturity, I think, is this year as well. Is like, we don't have to be stat mongers. We got to be game winners. And, I got to get Travis's Heisman. I got to get Horn's touch. No, you don't. Just take what the defense gives you. And they've done a brilliant job of that in this first half. Now, Travis may be saying to him, hey.
I don't. Now you're speculating.
Well, just like, hey, great play.
You never had a receiver come up to you and say that.
No. Marvin would never do that. No. Keyshawn Johnson, I'm sure, never did that with his play. No, absolutely. They didn't write books about it either. No.
You want to list the guys that came up to you in the huddle and said, hey, I'm not getting mine? You want to? Or maybe play-by-play partners?
It's funny, though.
You want to do that, too?
No, but you love that as a quarterback. You do. You want those guys to be hungry for the touches.
Sure.
As long as it's all underneath the team umbrella. And knowing that if we win, all the good things will come.
I would say, too, like when you say that about the players aren't calling the plays necessarily either. So that it's not just the individuals that have jerseys on that 100%. Are part of this collective.
And Pat Shurmur said it to us yesterday. I know balance. I know we're throwing it 67% of the time, more than anybody in the Big 12 since 2010, whatever. But I don't mind running it. We just have to find success doing it.
Yeah, and it's not been huge gashes, right? They have 52 yards on the ground, but 52 you'll take in a first half to set up second and third and playable. Oh my goodness, the hits just keep on coming. All right, take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. 30 of the 42 Colorado plays have been in Arizona territory.
Yeah, just been very efficient. They've had balance on that side. They've gotten to Fafita 3 times. That's a little bit of a surprise. He's been under duress this year, but he's been sacked only 6 times coming in. So that sack faucet's been turned on for these Buffaloes the last couple weeks, and it's maintained that pressure in the first half.
And this almost has to be points for Arizona. They will get it on a halftime, but more pressure. Fafita grabbed by the shoulder pad. Now he'll try and create. And everybody's out of their lanes. Fafita has 12 on a first down run.
Once again, a really nice, well-timed stunt on the right side gets home, but they just can't bring Fafita to the ground.
Well, it was Amari McNeil who had a piece of him. Fafita coming this way off the juggle. It's Patterson turning it upfield, and he is just shy of midfield at 41 seconds with 3 timeouts. Hunter on the coverage over there. Patterson, one of the number of guys out of the College of San Mateo, as there is an injured player behind the play as well. That is the left tackle, Rhino Tapa Atotai.
He's down, and Patterson is in midfield as well. He is shaken up, and this team has just been battered this year. Not quite as much offensively, Jason, as defensively, but this is a roster that is thin, that lost a lot of people. Yes, the 4 kids from Servite and all the buddies and the stars, they stuck around, but outside of that, outside of Fafita, McMillan, Burnett, and Manu, there are a lot of new faces and a bunch of inexperience.
And, we have not mentioned, as you see, further injury. That's Raymello Murphy walking off as well. We haven't mentioned Trayden Stoops, one of their best cornerbacks who went out a couple of weeks ago. They'll be without him as well. So Patterson limping off. Manu out as of earlier in this game. At some point, even if your roster is triple digits,
yes,
you keep losing that many players, and to be competitive, no matter how good your coaching staff is really difficult. And I know people don't want to hear it after they saw 10-3 last year, but part of this is a series of unfortunate events. Let's say, you go 7 in a row to win last year. You're thinking about yourselves a 10-3 team, and that's part of it for Brent Brennan. The psychology of that is Rhino is going to come walking off with some help.
He is the big left tackle. And this Colorado crew, they know, right? And they are pretty wound up to rush the passer. And, oh, gosh, it looks a little bit like Manu.
Yep.
And that one was some contact, but it rains, it pours.
Mike Wooten's going to come in to play left tackle. The sophomore transfer from Oregon. Saw him there right next to Moy, the left guard. First down, Arizona. 1st and 15 soon. It's Wooten, the left tackle. What do you tell a left after the call here?
Offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty. First down.
If you're the quarterback, you have a new left tackle. How do you deal with this?
It's like 6'3", 15. I just kind of look at him. I don't say much. You're good.
Yes, we got this.
Yeah.
Take care of me, please.
Receivers, maybe a little different conversation. Those guys, I got to try to protect your life. Just give them a positive nod.
Kids, just in case you wondered what the phrase "pick your battles" meant, there you have it. Fafita fading back again. He's just going to whip it sideline, incomplete. Over the head of Quali Conley. 2nd and 15. B.J. Green was in the backfield again. We mentioned, he said during the week it was open season. He also used the phrase "the dam broke" a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and it is a little different with Fafita because he does drop back. In that time, again, the 15, 16 yards. I like that high block, too. That is a good look for the transfer from ASU. So trying to find that target and get home. Took some extra emphasis this week at practice with different angles and different depths.
Here he comes again. Fafita felt him, sensed him, and he'll roll and throw. There's a marker in as well. It's caught by the tight end, Olsen.
That's going to be
I'm going to say incomplete.
Yeah, that's going to be a hold on the left guard, Moy, I believe.
After the call, I want to ask you a question about that rush you were talking about.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You're right, it's Moy. How do you change your angles if he drops back so far? What do you have to do?
Yeah, you just rep it in practice and realize that the launch point isn't going to be 7 or 8 yards. It's going to be 10 to 12 yards, and you just have that kind of spatial awareness, truly, and just rep it and rep it and rep it.
Arizona moving backward. Over the middle, he's got Hunter with the touchdown for Arizona, and he's spiked down by Stoutmeyer, gain of 13, and they'll use one of those timeouts. In just 6 days, we'll have Fox College Football Friday, a showdown at the LA Coliseum. Kyle Monangai and Rutgers will take on Miller Moss at USC. Kicks off Friday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on Fox after the World Series. USC, I think, expected to be in a different place. They had that loss to Penn State just last week, a game they felt like they could have won. How about the service academies, Brock Hewitt?
Awesome. Awesome in this day and age of all the transfers and the NIL and all the money involved. Guess what? They're not making it. And they're up early and they're grinding, and they got some studs, man. Watching Army's quarterback, what a physical kid. Indiana's the real deal. What a show they put on today, blowing the doors off of Nebraska.
Who wins the Big 12?
Yeah, good luck.
Come on, we got 10 seconds or so. Who wins the Big 12?
Well, BYU feels like a team of destiny last night.
Yeah.
I mean, got to score a touchdown in 19 seconds. You break 4 tackles to do it at the end. But Iowa State and that culture of Matt Campbell, kind of like those military schools, it's genuine and real.
Yeah, it's not that dissimilar. That's a good point. 3rd down and 12. Fafita He's going to throw. He wants the deep ball coming this way, incomplete for Patterson. Oh, jostling and incomplete. It's 4th down and 12.
Have we called Teteroa McMillan's name much in this whole first half?
The 2 times he caught the ball, but 15 total yards after 9 for 100 plus in that poster of a touchdown last year.
Yeah, that just can't happen in a half of football. I mean, you've just got to find a way through jet sweeps or bubble screens or quick hitches or fades. Like, you just, in some of this now, Colorado's doing a nice job of playing man. They've got some extra coverage and extra eyes on him, but that guy is too good to touch the ball twice.
We saw B.J. Green chase down that screen pass, though. I mean, he's been creating havoc. Timeout, Colorado. All right, so I think you succeeded on the quiz. You at least picked a Big 12 team. It wasn't Celebrity Jeopardy. So who wants to win the Big 12? Utah, preseason poll number 1. Kansas State, Oklahoma State. Now just put them all in the blender, hit puree, and see what comes out.
And I'll say this about Colorado. You know, I mean, they had a lead with 3 minutes to go at home. K-State hits a swing route and a go route, and you can't find a way at the end. Otherwise, you're 3-0. And now this is twice in person. It was on the road in Orlando, today in Arizona, packed house, homecoming. They play this game, and I said it in Orlando. You play this game, complementary ball of offense and defense and special teams. You don't miss tackles. You have some balance running it. Pat Shermer and Prime and Livingston, the D coordinator, like, they can play with anybody. They can beat anybody in this conference playing this brand of ball.
I'm struck by how memorable that game was at UCF when I wasn't in the booth with you.
You were busy. Beer dumped on you.
There's a punt. Jimmy Horn Jr. will watch it go out of bounds. And, hey, Colorado has succeeded on a Hail Mary twice this year. You could say twice, right? The play before the big touchdown against Baylor, they had it beat as well.
Yeah, Shepard had it on his chest, and ultimately Wester delivers. But, I mean, this is starting to feel more and more real. Now, you got to play a whole second half, right? You're up 21. The game is not over by any means. You got to bring it for 30 more minutes in the second half. But, man, you just see this product. You see on the perimeter the difference makers you have. You see the violence and the tackling, the hitting in their front seven. You can play with anybody in this conference.
It's a more complete team, right, this year by far than last year? They're not going to try the Hail Mary, so we'll go ahead and run that video package in a second.
Right, and for Shedeur, that engine could rev because he had help around him. They actually ran it more than they threw it, which was incredible. And then defensively, well, you give up just 7 points in that entire first half. And Shiloh had started with a blitz right there on the first series of the game, hitting Fafita. And then it was just a barrage, right? 3 sacks, 8 pressures. We see Keaton Wade get home the huge sack fumble here after a turnover and a sudden change. So the defense, well, they did their job and then some. And then, you know, if you could protect Shedeur, and this was the 3rd and 15, a run for nothing, a negative play, 3rd and 15, no problem. We'll be aggressive down the field. The touchdown for the 3rd consecutive week for Will Shepard. And then Shedeur showing you, I'm not just all about the arm. I can feel the pocket around me as well, and runs it in himself.
Well, and look, you know, Travis Hunter ends up with a couple of catches in the first half, 2 of them. He had a shoulder issue on the way into this ball game, so it kind of looks like he's going to be done for the day as Patterson on this return is across the 20-yard line. Allison Williams.
Yeah, Jason, Travis Hunter will be done for the day. A slight re-aggravation of the injury he suffered last week, but it's more just to be cautious with him with this game the way it is. They want to be safe, so his day is done. And also, several Arizona players done for the day. Defensive lineman Isaiah Johnson injured pregame. He is in street clothes on crutches. So is Jacob Manu. So they are really thin defensively. And Brent Brennan said, we only have one choice right now, and that's to keep playing for each other, taking this one play at a time. There's no magic play that's going to score 3 touchdowns. We just need to put a good drive together and capitalize.
Allison, thank you for that. And that's all you can do, right? Like, keep playing as McMillan makes the catch. And even though it's a crossroads, as you said off the top, your season's not over with a loss. Like, you're building something and trying to hit a finish line here.
Oh, no question about it. And there is a lot of football to play. And we saw for a series, I don't know, 3 straight possessions, turnover, turnover, turnover. It got to be the Wild West. I do like coming out right away and targeting your best player, McMillan.
He's only got 3 catches on all 3 targets to this point, and Conley on the run, gets through the right side, and he's spiked down at the 41.5-yard line.
I think one of the other big stories defensively in that first half, just 4 missed tackles for the Buffaloes. It was 23 missed tackles defensively a week ago, and a lot of that was Giddens and Kansas State and his talent and their size and strength. But 21 missed tackles in a win at UCF, 23 missed tackles in the loss to K-State, and just 4 in the first 30 minutes.
A major difference. And K-State is such a physical team as well. It's a different matchup as Conley, where the marker coming in back at the 36. You know, thinking about what Brent Brennan told Allison Williams, it sounds a little like Dick Tomey, right? The team, the team, the team. Like we have each other.
Offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty. Second down.
And you just can't have that.
Right.
Right? And that's one of those situations. And Brent Brennan knows that this offensive line is not what they were a year ago. And that is Alexander Deuce right there. Big fella, number 60, the right guard. 6'7", 330 pounds, but hands outside the frame. And just a kind of penalty that derails drives.
It's the 6th accepted penalty against Arizona. 66 yards already. Fifita breaking the other way, fading back, still in reverse, and he throws a long ball to the far side. It's Conley coming out of the backfield, looping all the way around to end up at the 37-yard line.
Colorado plays a lot of man coverage, but today it's been a little bit more zone to have eyes on Fifita, and it's because the front four has been so good to get home. But man, this play, that's just representative of a guy that holds it longer than anybody in college football to get some of those yards back in a 3rd and 8, as you see Livingston just mixing and matching this afternoon for Colorado defensively.
It sets up a 3rd down and 8. Fifita chucks it deep down the field, and a one-hand try. McMillan, it's incomplete. There is a marker coming in. Shiloh Sanders was stapled to him.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
They'll get Colton Hood.
Yeah, and that was the back judge that came from the midfield area, and he had a look at that, grabbing to the shoulder pads, right? He is watching. The side judge is looking, but the back judge, I think, a better angle to see a very similar call made earlier. Like we talk about, hey, man, call the strikes a certain way. If you're going to call that hold that was on Travis with Tacario Davis, then you got to call that one. So consistency in the pass interference calls.
Risano, couple yards. We mentioned the injuries on the defensive side. You saw Miranda, the tight end, in motion there. They're playing without Kean Burnett, who's one of their leading targets as well. I feel like we're watching the UFL. We got the play call.
Got that whole call right there. Motion to Trey Wright.
Second down for Fifita. Doubling back again. He sneaks out. Fifita, this is what he can do. There's a marker in. It looks like it's coming back.
Fifita scrambles. Tackled by number 41, Nakai Greenhill. Penalty flag on.
It's at times maddening. Well, a lot of the times maddening for these defensive linemen. It can be equally so for an offensive lineman.
Offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty. Second down.
How so?
Well, that is Wooten, the left tackle. Remember, you lose Rhino in the first half, so here's going to be ultimately the hold, because you know what linemen, offensive linemen like? To know where their quarterback often is. Now, they get it. There's times you're going to scramble and create, but those guys are blocking, Jason, and they don't have, at times, any idea where he's at, and you can see the hands there. It's the right call on another devastating penalty.
And it affected the play. It's not one of those holding penalties away from the point of attack. Quick throw. It's McMillan on a tunnel screen, and that's what you said in the first half. Just get him the ball, see what happens.
Right? I mean, that's 2 catches and 3 targets to begin the second half here. That's how you change conversation. Right? If you can't get it all back at once, as Allison said, that Brent Brennan had told her, okay, I get that, but my best player, he better be very involved in the second half.
He and Fifita played in high school together. They play Madden together, and they do it backward. Fifita is the wide receiver. McMillan is the quarterback. Hunter in motion this time, and again Wooten. He just had the holding penalty. That's going to be his 3rd penalty since coming in, and I don't know that.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
I don't know that Okunlola's helping very much. What I was going to say, Allison downstairs.
Yeah, and the expectation is that Rhino is out for the rest of this game. When I talked to Brent Brennan, he did not know for certain, but he did not expect him to come back. And he was also very clear about getting McMillan more involved at the half. He said that is absolutely the conversation we're going to have at the half, because there has to be a way to get him more involved.
Yeah, it's paid off right in front of our eyes. Thank you, Allison. 3rd and 19. It's a screen. They'll drop it off for Quali Conley, and here comes the white and gold to drop him to set up 4th down. Hill Green's been very active. He was in there again.
Yeah, you love that kind of pursuit, and that's what I'm sure the whole conversation was at halftime. Hey, defense, you did in the first half, right? Got after Fafita. You sacked him, you pressured him, you hit him. Let's not step off that gas in the second half. Get a stop and get the offense the ball once again. This is a grown-up front now. I mean, Hill Green's played a bunch of ball. Bentley's played a bunch of ball. Wonkwo's played a bunch. Green, right? You brought in transfers a little bit like I heard Joel and Gus talking about Indiana. You didn't bring in young transfers. You bring in veteran guys that know how to play the game.
Highly experienced players. A fair catch for Wester at the 14. So, you know why they store him there? We'll get to graphic in a second. It's the low humidity, the little rainfall, and the dry soil. It's good for decaying planes, evidently.
Wow. You know who took flight in that first half?
Who's that?
Shedeur.
Oh, good one. Good segue.
That's right.
What a pro. Colorado offensively has been a juggernaut today. 28 points. Their first touch of half number 2, and it's Wester across the 25. LaJohntay Wester has been the most favorite target today. That's his 7th catch.
Yeah, I think what's really hard for Dwayne Aquina, the longtime veteran coach, defensive coordinator here, is what can I possibly call that the players on the field know well enough. Injuries at all 3 levels. And you keep it simple, veteran QBs pick you apart.
Sanders, far side. Another catch, Shepard. He turns the corner. The yards after the catch for Colorado is strong any day, but today against a youngish secondary. Some bonus yards there. And Shedeur Sanders, to be clear, he came into today, and you see Dwayne Aquina there just trying to figure out what he can call. As you said, Shedeur Sanders, the most pass yards under pressure in all of the FBS, and it wasn't close coming in. But he's lived in a clean pocket for the most part today.
I gotcha.
He got him. The slogan of today's game is, I gotcha. Cavalier with the ball, he'll go down. And that is Tay Brown, the sophomore from here in Arizona, out of Chandler.
I do like those decals, though.
It makes you think of the McHale Center, right?
It does.
You think Miles Simon's going to come out here?
Mike Bibby.
Mike Bibby, see? Hosted a lot of NCAA tournaments there at McHale Center. One of the great venues in all of college basketball. The late, great Lute Olson. Sanders will drop it off. Dallin Hayden, the former Buckeye, crashing to the 46-yard line.
So that was a little mix-up. The first couple snaps were just a 4-man rush, playing cover 3. That time you drop 8 defenders there, and Shedeur sees it right away to get the ball out of his hand. And once again, have a manageable 3rd down. So good in that first half. 8 of 11 on 3rd downs.
This is a run, and it's Hayden. It's a gash down the sideline. It took Luttrell finally to kick him out.
Yeah, and take a look at your left guard and left tackle. This little game that they actually pick up. This has not been done frequently. Right, Arizona tries to run a little stunt, but Seton gets his big old body in the way. That frame is monstrous as a true freshman, and it paves the way for an explosive run.
It's a pretty wide radius to get around for Sterling Lane there. Sanders. They brought some pressure, picked up by Colorado, and this is batted incomplete, and a marker comes in. Genesis Smith on the coverage of Wester.
I think there were about 4 holds on that one.
You think so?
I think so. I think Genesis, who's had to play strong safety and free safety and nickel today, is matched up there with a really quick slot receiver, and he grabbed him about 3 times.
You know, high school stats are whatever sometimes, and they can be inflated. He had 16 interceptions in high school.
Holding.
16.
Defense. Number 12. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
You know, Genesis Smith, would you say he's a sledgehammer here?
Yeah, and I'd also say he didn't have to cover many guys like LeJohntay Wester that are so quick. So that was the contact later. It was a little double move where he has grabbed him earlier. And this is just such a bind. If Kansas State was a brutal matchup a week ago for Colorado, honestly, this matchup with the injuries to Arizona, incredibly favorable.
Can spread out the field, use the athleticism as we have a whistle directly into a microphone. You can feel that in your filling at home.
It's going to be the center.
Illegal snap. Offense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
What makes an illegal snap, Brock?
Yeah, he just kind of double clutches it. And we saw the missnap or the early snap that led to the fumble early on. I mean, if you're going to nitpick what has been maybe a little bit of an issue 2-3 different times today, I think Zelinskas Shedeur got to just clean it up.
First down run. Hayden right into the pile. So look, they came into the game at 374 rushing yards for the season for Colorado, but overall today it's been a nice output, 81 to this point. And you might say, well, it's not that many more, but it sets you up second down and playable.
Shedeur has been sacked how many times for Pat Shurmur?
1 time.
There you go. And those rushing yards also in the college game, sack yards affect those rushing yards.
That is a former center over on the sideline there. Pat Shurmur. Once again, Wester turns the corner and markers from everywhere.
Maybe a blindside block, or at least that's the conversation with Will Sheppard. And I totally understand this call, and I think this is why it's conversation. I mean, what do you want Will Sheppard to do here? I guess just kind of block him out.
Pull off.
And, you know, just use his hands. But it was by no means I mean, in the old days, that would have been a knockout shot.
Chuck Cecil days
Ruled on the
here in
field is a
Arizona.
catch. There is no foul for illegal block on the play.
Good.
You like that?
I do like that, and I really like the conversation. And Will Sheppard's like, see, I didn't tee off on him. Back in the day, right here, this would have been a chance to absolutely ear hold his DB. And in this case, he just does what, you know, you're supposed to do. Like, just kind of get in the way and block, and I actually very much like that call and getting it right.
The only thing he did wrong was he pointed for a first down, and it's 3rd and 3. That's all right.
Can't do it all.
No, that's 3rd down. 7-play drive turns to 8 with this handoff for Hayden, who's struggling. And he is down to the 10-yard line.
Again, I think that snap kind of surprised Shedeur Sanders.
Look at his reaction here. I think you're right.
So he's not walking up to the line like last time, but I don't think he is ready for this at all and just kind of has the quick reaction. Maybe that's some of the fiddling with the play that Pat Shurmur talked about, where he's just looking at it, trying to, hey, before you snap it, let's make sure I get you to the best look.
That's a center right there. He played center at Michigan State, and he said when I was playing, you know, there weren't that many plays for the center to have to know. You're still organizing and doing all that, but the position certainly has changed. This 28-yard field goal is on the way and true. Thrilled on the way over here to the old ball yard. Kickoff goes back to the 10-yard line, and Arizona will have it short of the 30.
See, this Arizona O-line could have used a couple Cletuses right now.
You think?
It's been one of many areas that it's just been a challenge today, as Colorado has just overwhelmed them in every phase.
Quali Conley, 2, maybe 3. All right, Colorado's LeJohntay Wester has been the favorite target of Shedeur Sanders so far today. He's got 8 catches. Arizona's wide receivers have 12.
Yeah, there's just been no explosive plays. I mean, Wester had their early one and obviously been targeted a bunch. But for Arizona, right, this is a team that wants to run it, that last year pushed the ball down the field, that had so much explosion to their game. Can't find it.
Pressure coming off the edge, and it's Conley to set up third down. So part of that obviously is change in personnel. Part of that is Fafita getting used to a new system. What's the pie chart there? What are all the factors?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jed Fish is a tremendous play caller. You're seeing him do that at Washington. Coach Sanders talked about that yesterday. The loss of your first-round NFL tackle, a fourth-round receiver, a fifth-round tight end, like all of that weaponry has not been easy to replace.
3rd and 6. Fafita on the run. He's got a first down, and he will crumple just short of midfield. The ball did come out, but he was blown dead. And so, Fafita, we mentioned earlier, his brother's name is Dash. He is a linebacker in high school. Rare is the day where you talk about a player who actually named his brother. But Noah Fafita was given the option by his parents to name his brother so he could be involved in being a sibling as that ball's on the ground. So Noah Fafita at age 3, 4, he said whatever he was, he loved the movie The Incredibles. And so he named his brother Dash for The Incredibles. Now the parents were like, you know what? We'll let him do that, but we're probably going to name him something else and put something else on the birth certificate. But as Dash was being born, he actually started to slip off the table as he was being delivered. The doctor caught him, and the family was like, you know what? He kind of dashed.
Pretty intuitive.
We're going with it. Second down. Fafita with a lot of time, and then he will break it down and turn it into a couple yards. How, in your time doing college football, how many times have you talked to players who have named their siblings?
Yeah, that'd be 0.
0.
Yep.
You feel for Noah Fafita because he really is a smart, bright, thoughtful young man who is just kind of in it right now.
And success came in a hurry last year.
Yeah.
I mean, to win 7 in a row and really be the guy spearheading so much of that with the people around you, and expectations go through the roof, and he's carrying the weight of them not meeting him this season.
Down he goes. Pressure coming from the far side from Okunlola.
Well, he had the rough in the passer earlier, and he ran right to the bench in frustration with it. And this time he just, he's right off the jump. Wooten, the left tackle, the backup, can't get to him after 2 false starts. He's a little bit late off the ball. The pit transfer is not, and the sacks just keep on rolling.
Okunlola had 7 catches as a tight end in high school. You know how many yards they went for? 7 catches.
A lot.
Take a guess.
210.
222. Oh, that's a rumbling big guy. 31.5 yards a catch. On the return again, Jimmy Horn breaking free, and he is collared out of bounds. You've grown.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You've grown. Matured. And we have a marker.
False start. Offense. Number 58. 5-yard
So what's the deal?
I don't know.
First down.
But what if you're the quarterback? I know you're not on the field, but like if you're the quarterback, what are you thinking?
Well,
what are you doing?
Yeah, and I say I don't know because I've not really seen this season between these two. It's communication. Maybe there is some checks. Now, he does have someone over his nose a bunch in this little odd front that Arizona's tried to use, but it's just discombobulated.
Second down coming up, Allison.
Well, I was behind the offensive line for Colorado when they came off the field that last time, and offensive line coach Phil Lodehold addressed it very directly with Zelenkus is how I would say it, and basically he told them, you got to stop thinking about other things. You need to focus on your job, which is snapping the football, instead of worrying about other things going on.
Sounds like our production meetings.
But you can see that nose tackle is right on his face.
Does that affect him?
Yes.
Second down. It's a throw, and they've got it to the tight end across the 40-yard line for Smalls.
And where it affects you is it's not what you're used to seeing. It's not what you've studied on tape all week. This has been a 4-man front. One of the mix-ups for Shedeur and Arizona was to go to that odd front.
And so Arizona has gotten what they've wanted as Hayden with that run will set up a 4th down. It's just been too much Buffaloes when they have been on schedule.
Oh, no question.
It's a tactically impressive move. It's worked.
Yeah, and for Dwayne Aquina, knowing that, hey, man, we have to do something to try to impact and get to Shedeur, and that's one of the rare 3-and-outs today. But some of the strength were some of the athleticism of Trey Smith and Kennedy and guys up front. But too much balance for the Buffaloes.
It's the first 3-and-out for the Buffaloes all game. 43 minutes and change. Bassett just got it off. And it's a good one to the 10-yard line. All right, our Aflac trivia question answer. The question was, who holds the single game rushing record by a quarterback in FBS history? And the answer, you had it pregame.
I remember watching this, actually. Khalil Tate could run.
Yes.
And there was a stretch there where he could throw, and he was impossible to try to track down, and certainly for those Buffaloes in 2017. Wow, 327 rushing yards.
They've had some quarterbacks. He's here for homecoming. Nick Foles has been here. Keith Smith, Ortiz Jenkins here together back in the late 90s. Had to tell him what camera to turn to. First down run, and it's going to be the quarterback, Fafita. Smart decision to keep it himself, and he ends up at the 30-yard line. Shiloh Sanders again with the tackle. It's a gain of 20.
He's going to be their leading rusher, right?
So far today, yes. Conley, 35 yards. Risano, 15, and Fafita wrapping on the door of 50 yards. Here comes Heat again. And he gets sacked one more time. That's Okunlola again.
Well, so you know what you do if you're struggling at left tackle. I'm going to flip you over to right tackle. That's Wooten now playing on the right side. And unfortunately, that same matchup that went down on the other side just happened on the right side.
Yeah, he's coming with.
Yeah, so you do. You try to move Jonah over to play left tackle, which he's comfortable doing. But, man, Colorado is finding it.
5 sacks already. And this run gets stonewalled from Conley, and that'll be it for quarter number 3. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Arizona would need a massive comeback, in part because Noah Fafita been sacked 5 times today, Brian.
Yeah, he's been under pressure and duress all season. The pressure rate number is really high. He's just been able to get out of it, wiggle his way, or throw it away. Not the case this afternoon.
This is a 3-score game. Doesn't feel like it, but it still is 3 touchdowns and 3 twos. Fafita has to try to scramble, and he just gets overwhelmed once again by Colorado.
Well, once again, it is NFL stunts that are coming your way. I mean, that's one thing that jumps out to me, Jason. And last week, it was a lot of bear front and trying to, just get one-on-ones. Different story today. And I love that conversation Robert Livingston told us about, right? And just like, hey, I heard from some of my friends at the NFL level, maybe mixing in some other 4-man fronts with the bear front would be a good thing. Marvin Lewis, maybe in particular, the biggest advocate of that. And, man, Livingston's plan has been on point today.
I love the way that he put that text message that he got. You might maybe think about it. Fair catch. Ooh, a tag team to fair catch. Quinella there, and Horn does put it away.
Yeah, I mean, Noah is 5'10", 185 pounds, one of the smaller quarterbacks in all of the Power 4, and he takes a beating. I so appreciate his toughness, and I asked him, man, you take a beating. And he's like, well, my dad and all my family were defensive players. I learned very early to get up. But he's got to pick himself up so many times. 9 pressures in the first half to go with all those sacks, and those numbers have only elevated. And it's been a team Buffalo party.
Let me ask you, after 3 quarters of that, how does your body feel?
Look at him.
I understand.
He looks like Glass Joe in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Thank you for that. All the 90s kids love you. 6 sacks, 15 hurries, 10 hits. This is a run for Augusta, who has been the most likely runner, and now they're just wearing out this defense. That's all that is power and drive and leaning on the Wildcats.
And just want to as well. I think we might have do we have a new center in the game as well?
Roll and throw. It's Horn, a little sidestep, and a first down for Colorado. There is, in fact, a new center for the Buffaloes. It's Cash Cleveland who's come in.
It's a new one. That is digging deep on the roster, and that's a little bit of the conversation with Zelinski's like, hey man, just do your job, and if you can't do it, then we're going to give somebody else, a youngster, an opportunity.
Looks like for the fourth quarter, looks like they're going to be cash only. Augustive on the run. Allison has more. Allison?
Well, as you guys can imagine, nobody's more upset with how Zelinski has played than he is himself. I mean, he just looked absolutely dejected on the sideline, but there was a really cool moment with Shedeur, and he came over next to his center. He put his arm around him. He had a smile. He was trying to crack jokes with him and lift his spirits. And he's like, look, man, I know it's been rough, but we're good. You know I still got you. You know I still trust you. You know I still am here for you, and you're good. And it was just a cool moment to see him take the time and try and lift the spirits of him, because he was definitely feeling pretty dejected down here.
So important for an offensive line to have that connection to the quarterback. But Cleveland did play 1 year at IMG Academy with the left tackle Seaton. So there's a little familiarity. Transferred there after 3 years of high school in Texas. Traylon Miller again. You know, part of it is the pressure of the season of conversation about the offensive line.
Oh, no question.
As well,
yeah,
right?
No question.
This is compounding.
And this is not a simple system. I mean, you've got, a lot of 10 personnel, you got 11 personnel, you got 12 personnel, you've got RPO game, right there, you've got all the checks that Shedeur wants to get to and all the game that he sees as well. So, yeah, there is a bunch that falls on the shoulders, and I think for Zelinski's today, it just piled up. And he kind of felt that throughout the game. It just kind of piled up, and time to give somebody else an opportunity here in the fourth.
Yeah, that's not at all to say they're better off with something more simple, because part of the reason they can put up the numbers they do is because of that ability to be flexible. Far side adjustment incomplete. LaJohntay Wester was with Dalton Johnson, the leading tackler today for Arizona.
One just a little bit behind. Wester is so quick on these cuts, Jason. He is in and out of it. Look at him. He is just breaking out, and that ball a little bit behind.
Genesis Smith over there. So 3rd down and 3 coming up for Colorado.
Travis is giving Coach Prime a little input right there.
Everybody's got to say. Travis Hunter not playing here in the second half. An aggravation of that shoulder injury, and that is a flag. No. The official reached for it, and then it didn't come out. Freeney with the coverage. It was on Onogwe, and Travis Hunter's like, huh?
Yeah, I think he's had the same reaction you and I have. I guess you could say they both have their hands on one another, but when you're...
That's pass interference. I don't need to ask Dean. Do you?
Dean?
No, don't. He's got stuff to do. He doesn't have time for that. That's pass interference. Yeah. Just being clear, in case people are joining us for their first ever college football game they're watching right now. 4th and 3, they're going to go for it. Sanders has it popped high in the air and intercepted.
He's up!
Luttrell goes high for his 2nd of the day. Tay Brown got the hand up. Arizona gets a pick. So many greats. You asked him what attribute from all of them.
Yeah, he played for Don James as a quarterback in the late 70s. How thorough DJ was. For Tomey, he was a team builder. For Mac Brown, and really, Coach Keene built DBU there at Texas. It was the relationships with the people, and over a decade there at Stanford as well. And it was David Shaw's ownership, man. He just constantly took responsibility for everything. Some good ones and a lot of knowledge for that man.
That Desert Swarm defense so well known here. Did you know when we got here that that was sort of codified in the Canadian Football League the year that Dwayne Aquino was there, the Desert Swarm idea?
No idea. And you asked him about that season up in Saskatchewan because he'd been around so many of the others for so long. And he said it was up there in the Canadian Rockies that a lot of that double eagle front was really built.
Second and 7. And the throw. It is McMillan, and it's a first down. The Desert Swarm was developed in Canada.
It's the beauty of this game. Right scheme can come from all different places. Yeah, the desert, the mountains, all of it combined together. And I played against that. I remember that defense vividly, the flex defense, the double eagle flex, and it was man, and they were in your face and came at you so aggressively.
The Teddy Bruschi's of the world that have come through here. Fifita again is decked. He gets sacked one more time. Arden Walker for the loss of 8.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You're right.
Well, now we're trying another right tackle. Right? I mean, that's just kind of what happens on a day like today. And Ryan Stewart is in there, a right tackle here, a transfer that's moved up and down the line. It was a tough afternoon for Mr. Wooten. So we just got to get somebody new in. And unfortunately, Arden Walker does to him what we have seen just about every Buffalo due to these Wildcats this afternoon.
Ryan Stewart out of lovely Mokina, Illinois. Second and 18. Fifita, you can see by his feet. He just feels the pressure immediately now after getting hit all day. 7 sacks. This throw to the sideline ends up with Silman Craig getting a hand on it. It'll be third down.
Isn't that remarkable?
What's that?
It doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady or you're a junior high quarterback. When you get hit and you get hit and you get hit, it just impacts your feet and just your psyche. I mean, he is one tough hombre.
But right off the snap. You saw what I saw, right?
No, there's no question. I just watched it again in my little replay there, and those feet just start moving, right? You're just looking for that next punch that's coming at you from somewhere.
Third down, clean pocket that time. It's Hunter over the middle, and Hunter stumbles his way to get upended and dropped. Colton Hood just turned him upside down, literally.
Yeah, it was Hood who had the big interception in the game against Kansas State a week ago, the Auburn transfer. I mean, those are the things you just were not seeing last year. Right, we didn't talk about last season, the 4-2 start, and obviously the great win against TCU and the win against Colorado State, but you weren't seeing this violent, impose our will, physical team. And that stuff carries, that travels. And it's traveled on the road really well here now a couple times in the Big 12.
Jimmy Horn on the return. You mentioned that Colorado State game last year. It went to overtime. There was an... Time now for Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Shedeur Sanders, 23 for 32. Early and often to Western.
Yeah, he is just lightning quick and so good in the slot there. Such a mismatch today for Arizona. Sanders going to be a little disappointed. That first interception, I'm sure he's going to have a conversation with his receiver down in the red zone. That last one again in the red zone. Ball gets tipped up. He actually threw it right in the face of Tay Brown for that pick, and as a veteran as he is, he doesn't like those interception numbers.
They'll hand it to Charlie Offerdahl, who gets his first carry of the ball game. And we mentioned before the break that Deion Sanders had an interesting moment with his 2 sons last year, and it was the Colorado State game. We're talking in the context of being a dad of players, and when do you asked, when do you flip the switch from dad to coach? Right? And he said, well, typically I'm coach, right? When it's football time, I'm coach. But Shiloh did come up to him at one point last year, and he said, Dad, why'd you take the ball in overtime against Colorado State? And Coach, Dad, said, well, because your brother's going to go win the game. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, and I think also he said the defense played like garbage.
All game.
Which is what he said about Shiloh's game last week. Like, I mean, if you're going to be a Sanders, you're going to get the good and you're going to get the bad. Like we like to tell our kids at times, like, Mom and Dad did it. We played college sports and we got a chance to do it. And it's a blessing and a curse.
You tell your kids that?
Yeah. It's a blessing we did it, but you're also going to be cursed because we know the travels and how difficult it is and the adversity. And he does not mind calling Shiloh out after all the missed tackles in the brutal game a week ago.
And his son responded
No
today.
question about it.
Right, you'd say?
Big time. The whole team has only had 5 missed tackles.
After 23 all last week against Kansas State. Loads of time. That breaks down, and it's a little high. Offerdahl gets whacked by Demetrius Freeney.
And so did Shedeur, by the way. Holy smokes.
Maybe his last play.
Well, you're up 24, 7 minutes to go. The last thing you want to see is that engine that kind of drives this machine get absolutely sandwiched in the pocket. I mean, he is waiting and he is waiting, and he's going to finally check it down. But that is that's one of the hardest shots he's taken all afternoon.
What do you think of the honesty from Coach Dad Prime?
It's totally consistent.
Right.
And that's all you want.
Yep. I mean, look, if you're a player, you hear it in every sport. You just want to know where you stand, right?
Yep.
Patterson on the return, covering a lot of ground here. And he is going to get spine buster down by Ovenway. 20-92. He was 3 for 4 in a World Series game. He's coaching football now at a very high level as Fafita rolls to the right and he throws downfield, and that is intercepted. Picked off by Hood. Colton Hood. Inside the 10.
You're going to see it right here, just eyes to the backfield, and you know it's happened for these DBs today. It's not the first route you got to cover. Right? You got the go route covered. Well, now here comes the playground, and I got to get out there, and I got to come back to the ball with better juice than the Arizona receiver did. And then, kind of like a week ago, nearly takes it all the way back to the house. Last week, the turf monster got him. This time, some effort there from Arizona. But back-to-back weeks, Mr. Hood is just making plays.
There was a face plant last week. There he slides inside the 10.
And I think maybe penalized for the helmet coming off.
That's what it is. And then that's going to be all for Shedeur Sanders. So Ryan Staub, who is 0 for 2 so far.
And for Fafita, unfortunately, a pick now in every game this season.
0 for 2 this year for Staub, by the way. He did have the one start at the end of the year last year against Utah as Offerdahl ends up at the 20-yard line. To the right move to get Shedeur Sanders out of the ball game.
I don't know how many people saw this one coming today like this. I mean, what an unbelievable effort from the Buffaloes defensively. And this is what you want. You want to get to the point where you can get some of your backups in. Sundays are development days. Well, Saturday in the fourth quarter has been a development day here for Prime and the Buffs.
Run it again, Offerdahl set up 3rd down, and Shedeur Sanders, the Buffalo, is going to play Cincinnati next week. They have a bye, then Texas Tech. But if he's going to play like this, and the 2 interceptions are whatever they are.
But here's the development. He was good today. He wasn't great. That was not his best game as a Buffalo, and you're up by 24.
Right.
That is like the best sign for the overall health of the program, that he doesn't have to do everything and put his cape on like he's had to for the last year and a half.
And the Zelinskis issue notwithstanding, please keep blowing the whistle directly into the microphone. It's great for everybody. The Zelinskis issue notwithstanding, the line has been good today for Colorado in pass protection. Would you not say?
Yeah, and I think just the awareness to pick up stunts and movement and get off the ball together. And it's been a bunch of them, right? We have seen 4 guards play today, a couple centers play today. It's been your 2 tackles that have kind of anchored things. But yes, I would say in totality, probably the best effort your O-line has had all season, too.
And we're getting some depth from the receivers. Braylon Miller has a touchdown. Onivue as well has gotten some meaningful snaps as this field goal is good. It's 34-7. All right. We'll tell you about our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security. Saying, where's the aquatic life? There it is. Creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Yeah, that was a little the little push to get Augusta into the end zone there early. This was just a really well-designed little shovel pass. First touchdown at Braylon Miller's career. the continued development of Will Shepherd, 3 games in a row now with the touchdown. And Shedeur a time or two showing it off with his legs as well, that if you're going to lighten that box and you're going to cover everybody, I can score by myself as well.
And look, if the scores hold as they are, and Baylor does beat Texas Tech, they're up right now as we're looking at the scores during the break, you're going to end up losing one of those 3 unbeatens at the top of the Big 12. So it's BYU and Iowa State undefeated within the league. BYU still unbeaten overall. But, you know, Colorado's only got 1 loss in the league. It was last week. You never know. With the way this team played today, if they can be this complete, they can still be a challenger to the Big 12 title.
They're going to go on the road here in conference twice now and really take apart UCF and then just dismantle Arizona today. Impressive.
Patterson on the return. You look at the upcoming schedule for Colorado. Mentioned the bye coming up after the Cincinnati game. At Lubbock, home for Utah. It's certainly not easy games. At Kansas doesn't look the same as it did at the beginning of the year, and neither does the Oklahoma State game. There is a path there to go unbeaten still to close the year in the Big 12 after the K-State loss.
And I think for Deion, and what he has kind of said a bunch, but he'll say it again in the press conference today, like, we're getting closer to putting it all together. At UCF, I felt like they did. They played such complimentary ball. And, you know, the Kansas State game, they got bludgeoned. Right? Had the bye, and K-State just punched them right in the mouth. And today was a huge response, and kind of like that game in Orlando, just a total team effort.
Colt Tannenbaum is in as the quarterback. And Risino, would you say that it was hammer time last week in the Kansas State game? You said bludgeoned.
Yeah.
But would you say they got hammered?
Wow.
Just hypothetically. Asking for a friend. How about that? MC Hammer here.
He's saying happy birthday, too legit to quit.
A good paraphraser. Cannot wait to see what Allison Williams has to add after this second down play. Risino. Allison, there's a marker in. You go ahead.
Guys, come on now. Biggest celebrity here, and we see them at the Colorado games, but the biggest one here, MC Hammer, is on the Arizona sideline because he's really good friends with running backs coach Alonzo Carter, who was actually his choreographer and lead dancer from 1988 to 95. So the two are very good friends.
You can keep going, Allison.
I'll let him get the call, and I don't want to talk over anybody.
We couldn't hear it anyway.
I'll talk over you two, not the officials. Come on now. But what's really cool, so I was talking to Coach Carter before the game, and I said, is there any similarities between like, teaching people to dance and move and the footwork and coaching running backs? He said, actually, there is. There's a drill we do with quick feet, and then we slide for protection. It's called typewriter feet, and it's the dance move that he choreographed in the You Can't Touch This music video.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That is the story of the year. Awesome. How about that? That is awesome.
You think he puts the old Hammer videos on to show that?
It's got to. He's got to.
You think he still rocks the Hammer pants?
Yes.
Did you ever have the Hammer pants?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. No, of course not. What do you think? No. MC Hammer, former bat boy with the Oakland Athletics, I believe. Is that true?
Say it with confidence. Don't ask a rhetorical question.
Oh, no, there goes the ball.
Oh,
I think it's still loose. It's going the other way. That defensive line has played its tail off. That's Anquin Barnes Jr. involved in that. Brendan Gant as well, the linebacker from Tigertown in Lakeland, Florida.
You know, I think one of the keys, Jason, when you looked at that schedule in the Big 12 and you looked at this game today, is Colorado's got their dudes. And they're developing depth for Deion, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 D tackles that can play. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive ends that can play. A little bit thin at linebacker, and it's important that Hill Green and Bentley stay healthy. But in year number 2, it is different. The depth is different, and you're feeling that into the season.
Offerdahl scampers through. He's got a breakaway. Charlie Offerdahl to the 15-yard line. The Colorado native, former first-team All-State player in high school. He's a molecular, cellular, and developmental biology major, and he can run.
That is a really smart dude. That's all I know with all those majors. And he is looking for his first touchdown. How about that? The kid out of Dakota Ridge High School up in Littleton, Colorado, gets the biggest run yet of his career. And you know, with 2:46 to go, he's saying, man, come on. Let me find a way to get into that end zone. We sure inched a whole bunch closer.
Talking about the Oakland A's, he looks a little like Raleigh Fingers. Got the football mustache going on.
You know what I like too? 5'10", 185, but rocking the 44. I mean, usually the 44 is kind of like a linebacker number, right? Big old frame, Bosworth back in the day, but...
I went to Syracuse, buddy. It's running backs.
There you go. But were they 5'10", 185?
No.
Okay, thank you.
You ever seen footage of Ernie Davis and Jim Brown?
Yeah, they were big physical men,
right.
Yes.
That is Kaya Huwe, who is down, and he was in for the injured Manu. You talk about depth at linebacker, Brock.
You just talk about for Brent Brennan and this Arizona staff, like what is next? Like how many guys can we lose?
And to be clear, people tuning in, it's 34-7. We're talking a lot about Colorado, and rightfully so, because they've had a great day. But Brent Brennan and his staff did a marvelous job at San Jose State, which doesn't have this, you know, decades-long pedigree of championship threats and all of that. But the injuries have just been so much for Arizona.
Just debilitating, and that's going to be a key in this Big 12 race, to be honest with you, when you look at the rest of the season and you see it Utah, and obviously with Cam Rising and how much impact that has had on them. And the expectations here for this team, as you see Manu just out of uniform, Tetaroa just not having the impact really since the season opener that he had a year ago as well. And injuries will go a long way to defining this Big 12 race.
That stop throw, he wants the end zone, and it's incomplete for Onogwe. 2-minute time. They lose J.J. McCarthy in the preseason. Everybody wonders about the depth and everything going along with it.
And that Sam Darnold, guys.
Sam Darnold
come to life.
Saw the lonely fan out there in a stadium that has grown exponentially since it opened its doors. 7,000 seats is all they had when this place first opened. It's swollen to 50,000 plus, and that tells the story for Arizona today.
Kind of looks like that boneyard.
There's somebody left their cheerleading equipment behind.
A couple Coors Light cans.
Okay. Glad you didn't use your telestrator. Destin Wade has come in to take a knee a couple times. They're going to take this knee. That will stop the clock. Arizona will take the ball over with 77 seconds left. Last year they opened 4-2. You said the word crossroads coming in, and they've taken a correct turn to this point.
Yeah, and look, he's doing a little typewriter dance right there. Yeah, I think he's feeling good about this. And
that's Hammer Prime.
Yep, and I think he said it kind of best to us yesterday. And I would, you know, having watched all those games a season ago, everybody in college football caught up with the Prime story and the magnificent wins earlier. He's having a lot of fun. But they just hope to win. Right, man, I hope we can stay healthy. I hope we can find a way to win. And now they expect it.
Yep.
You know, and when you win games the way they're doing it, and you go on the road and you win at UCF, and you know you win and you survive against Baylor, and you handle Colorado State on the road, and you win this game convincingly. Guess what? It just builds more of that expectation that we're going to win, and we're not just a nice story anymore. That we're a legitimate contender in the Big 12.
There's a good story that just got the carry. That's Caden Luke, who's a local product for Arizona. He grew up a Wildcat fan. He was here in 2013 when they beat Marcus Mariota and Oregon. They call him Big Red. Now he's hurt. Now, if that doesn't typify this season for Arizona.
Goodness.
And you saw Travis Hunter over on the sideline, not playing the second half. If you just joined us, worth mentioning again, Travis Hunter did not play in the second half. Some snaps mostly offensively in the first half.
So I'll say what I said about Shedeur. I mean, the fact that you can blow the doors off of a conference opponent and do so without Travis Hunter, really, and to have Shedeur play good, but he's played better, and you still handle an opponent by 27?
They're dangerous.
That resonates with everybody else in the league, like, uh-oh, this isn't just a superhuman effort by a couple guys that are difference makers. This is now a whole bunch more of a total team effort.
Couple of carries for Brandon Johnson on the way out here, but Colorado, who's lost at Nebraska and lost last week to Kansas State, is now 5-2. Best start in 6 years for the Buffaloes, and Coach Prime and Colorado dominated today. (34-7) the final score. The Buffaloes get the win. Arizona drops to 3-4. Wildcats will host West Virginia next week, but for Shedeur Sanders and Colorado, positive forward-moving effort today.
That's right. Just stacked wins on top of each other and really convincing wins, and really flush a week ago.
Yeah.
Such a physical game. You got manhandled at the line of scrimmage. Well, today you manhandled Fafita, these Wildcats, and really took it to them.
Allison is downstairs with Deion Sanders.
Coach Prime, I have to start with your defense. What did you guys